Alright, gang, welcome back to our luxury tax challenge here on Mecklenburg. It is now September. It means the rice is ready to harvest, so we're going to buy the rice harvester. And this very well may be the very last episode of this series. If it's not, there's probably one more after this. But there's a high potential that this could be the last one. I went ahead and got the rest of the pallets there, of the wood beams stacked up. We are going to go sell those today, along with pretty much selling everything else we have. The straw specifically we'll be selling. All that TMR that we've got mixed up, minus a little bit that we're probably going to put in for the cows themselves, will be sold. And really everything else we have, anything in the silos, all that stuff, we're probably going to be selling everything today just to see, you know, what kind of money we get, and if we have enough money to be able to buy the harvester, which we do right now, but also have enough money to pay off the loan, which may or may not be able to happen today. Really, it's just going to depend on, you know, how much money we make off all this stuff, right? How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good here, man, all things considered. Very happy with the series itself and that it is coming to a close. Definitely could have, you know, drug it on a little bit longer than we have, but I don't really think we needed to. All right, that's some good money right there. Up to $232,000 right now, and that's not with selling anything else that we currently have to sell, so I think there's a high probability here that we are going to be done today. One thing we have to do still is kind of do a little bit of work in the park as well, right? We're going to buy this harvester, so we're going to have to put at least, well, I think it's almost, I think it's like $90-something thousand, so $9,000 plus. But really, the header that we require to put the other harvester that we purchased, right, to put into the park, the small John Deere harvester, I think that one's like $8,000, somewhere around that range. So it's going to, you know, cost a pretty penny alone by itself. So let's get that harvester, though, for the rice here so we can get started on that. It is $95,000, so we're going to have to put $9,500 in today. It should not be a problem at all. So we'll go ahead and buy that now. I'm going to turn off the license plate. I don't really like those. So we'll buy that. And while we're in here, we might as well go ahead and buy the harvester header that we need to buy. It's $6,000. I'm sorry. I thought it was $8,000. $6,000. So we do have to spend a few extra $1,000 into the park, but we'll figure something out. Not too big of a deal. Like I said, a lot of the time we have spent more than we had to, so it really doesn't really matter that much anymore because of how much we've spent over the time period. I'm going to leave the John Deere up here for right now. For the time being, let's get this back, and we can go ahead and get started on harvesting the rice. And then from there, we'll start selling some stuff and see what we can get, right? So right now, let's say for better or worse, we have $125,000. So we need another bare minimum, I think. Is it $300,000 or $400,000 we own the loan? $300,000. So we need another bare minimum $175,000 that we're gonna have to make somehow, whether it's from any of the stuff we've got, the TMR, all the straw that we have to pick up, because we got straw in the other field that we harvested to pick up as well, all the crops in the silos, etc. All this rice that we're gonna have now, all of this, right? We're gonna sell it and we'll see what we get. We very well might get to $300,000, and if we do, that will be the end of this series, unfortunately. But I think it's time. All right, let's get this thing going here, gang. We are back and ready to go. This is going to be by far the biggest rice field I've harvested in the game to date. And we're underway. I don't know how well this is going to do. Actually, okay, we figured it out. All right, never mind. I was going to say, I don't know how well this is going to do as far as, you know, putting lines and everything in, but it figured it out, so that's good. Just based solely on the fact of the precision farming not really figuring things out, and I do think a couple people made a comment on that. Full transparency, I haven't had a chance to look at those yet. I apologize, but I will try to do that this weekend. Well, I say this weekend. Actually, this video is going to be out past the weekend that I'm talking about. So I guess ignore that. Hopefully I've answered you by then. If I haven't, well, I apologize for that too, I guess. Now this should be a pretty good yielding field here. I mean, we kept it in a really, really good spot the entire time, right? So it should be a high yield for the rice. Now, I know we're not going to make a whole lot of money off this rice. I know for a fact that the money we make off this rice is really not going to pay us back for how much the harvester and everything cost. But, you know, that's okay. We're going to go around and do a little touch-up work. We always normally have to do touch-up work with this rice. There's always a bit of the edge there, like that back there, and some over there on that side that, for whatever reason, it plants it there. And I don't know whether it's me or it's just the game, I don't know. It plants over where it really shouldn't be planting, and then so it's outside of the barrier there for the lines for the steering assist, if you will, or the GPS. Still having that issue with this controller, gang, so bear with me. I'm trying to do the best I can to make sure it doesn't start tilting on me. It's got a bit of a drift with the camera analog stick, unfortunately, and it's acting up pretty severely today for some reason. Trying to hold off on buying one. I think I'm going to have to give in and do it, but I'm trying to hold off on buying one for the time being, for a little while longer at least. At least until I get my next paycheck, is what I was hoping to do, but I might have to give in and do it beforehand. So, we're going to get this field harvested, sell the rice. I mean, I might as well go ahead and sell those rice saplings too, if it lets me. Sell those. We're going to be doing a massive amount of selling of that TMR. There's a lot in there. As a matter of fact, can I put that on auto selling? I bet I can. I can. I'm going to do that. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to do that. Everything else should be on selling for the time being, so we should be good. Yeah. There's still plenty of strawberries happening there. They should be on selling now as well, right? Yeah, they are. So we're going to keep at it here, gang. Let's get the rest of this rice field harvested. I probably will utilize a worker for part of this. Certainly won't be the whole thing. We'll certainly be doing most of the harvest ourselves. But I probably will utilize a worker because, as mentioned, we do have to pick up all of the straw bales on that other field and bring them back here. That's really the last major thing we have to do from the other fields, and then we can literally just kind of focus on here, and then at the end, as always, focus on the park upgrades. So, let's get to it, and we'll see where we get to. All right, well, we got actually quite a lot done, and we got quite a lot of money, so I do think that this will be the final episode. There really is no reason why it wouldn't be. We're going to sell this rice straight up here, 5,321 liters. It's not going to make a ton of money, we know that. Rice is not the best to sell right now. That's okay. And then we're going to sell everything out of the silo. It should absolutely 100% get us past 300,000, plus the couple extra $1,000 we need to spend in the park, besides what we already paid for, right, with the harvester. So easily get there. Right there alone, we're almost there. We only need 25,000, and we have a ton of canola in there to sell. So we will easily surpass that. So got everything else for the most part sold. I got all the straw and everything picked up and sold. So that's going to be good money for us, obviously. Well, it was good money for us, is what I should say. I am going to pick up the manure here and try to sell it as well. I don't know exactly how much is in there right now. I would suspect not a ton, even though it does look like there is. I suspect there's not a ton in there. But, you know, nonetheless, we will sell that too. Now, the rest of that digestate that's in there, I don't think I can sell it at our little selling shop here. I could be incorrect in that statement, but I don't think we can. I'll have to look at it and see if it allows us to do it or not. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's do a quick autosave now and do that. I moved honey over into the dairy production, although, again, as mentioned, we really don't have, you know, a ton of honey being made right now, unfortunately. Digestate. There it is. I can sell it there. Okay, good. So we just made 67,261 plus 5,774 for the environmental score from that one of canola alone. We've got multiple other loads of canola to sell. We have rye to sell. We're gonna way blow past anything that you would have ever imagined being able to do. As you can see there, this trailer, fantastic, but it only holds 20,000 liters. So it's going to take us a number of trips here just to get all of that done. Not counting, excuse me, all of the rye that's in here as well. Evidently, there's some straw in here too, which I kind of forgot about. There's 53,000 of rye as well, right? It's not the best time to sell them. I mean, I fully understand that, but the price is not terrible. It really isn't. So it was a good thing for us to wait because we're probably going to make, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000 more than we would have if we didn't wait, right? If we would have sold it right when we harvested it. Now, having said that, I mean, I understand the series is coming to an end today, so do we really need to? No, not really, but it's nice to see what kind of money we end up with after we're done with everything, right? We're not going to be selling anything on this series. We're going to leave it as is. It's not like we're going to sell everything that we've put down. None of that. Evidently, I went too far there. Whoops. Now, one thing I'm going to actually try to do here, just to help us out, I don't know if it's going to allow me to do it or not. It hasn't in the past. Workers have had major issues, but I'm going to attempt to hook this up and have the worker kind of drive over towards where the park is. I suspect we're going to see an issue here, but I'm going to attempt it anyway and see what happens, and kind of hope for the best, if you will. I love these big chunky tires, man. Yeah, we're probably going to have to utilize this for a vintage survival series in the future. The future. Not the one we're running now, another one. A secondary one, if you will. Okay, so set destination. I wonder if I can just get him to go here. Or her, whoever it is. They're going to say they're lost. Cannot get there. What object are you blocked by? Okay, they're going. Oh my gosh, that's a miracle. Holy smokes, that's an absolute miracle. I was not expecting that. That's good. So we're at 421,000 right now, gang. So we we've got a lot more to sell. We probably are going to get to $1 million again. I mean, the fields we harvested, man, they're huge. This map in general, I mentioned that from the beginning. The fields are just gigantic. That's the reason why we were able to utilize some larger equipment than we're normally used to, right? Speaking of that, specifically our harvester in the background that we just purchased recently. stuff like that, right? Which most of the series that I run, I know I mentioned this, I think, last episode, but just bear with me. Most series that I run, we never really get to that stage, or if we do get to that stage, it's similar to, you know, the very end of the series. Now, you could say, though, well, you just got that now. You're right, but when we were harvesting in the past, when we were leasing stuff, we were utilizing big harvesters to lease, too, right? So, don't really get that luxury on most of those challenges that I normally run. So it was nice to branch out a bit and do a series where it allowed me to utilize some bigger equipment than I'm normally used to doing. Whoops, I'm just driving right on over that, aren't I? Whoops. So we're going to have one more load after this of canola. While that's continuing to load in there, I think for now we're going to pay off the loan. We're just going to go ahead and take care of that, get that done. And that way every objective that we've set out to do for this challenged series has been completed. With the exception of just putting the harvester in place and a few small amounts left into the park itself. But yeah, the park really has been done for a while. We're just doing a little bit of touch-up work and adding a few things here and there just to appease the luxury tax fee that we have to do for some of the things we wanted to buy to kind of clean this series up. Also plowed up that field there, so that field is now fixed. I said I was going to do that. I said I was going to do a couple of those things that I kind of mentioned in the past that we wanted to potentially do for this series. At that point, thinking that the series was going to drag on for a lot longer than it actually ended up having dragging on for. I guess I should have known better. I probably should have maybe made, you know, the loan a little bit more, or, you know, maybe the challenge of the windmill, maybe something else in addition to that. Because after we sold a couple of these large, you know, harvests, really that windmill was in sight, and much earlier than I had expected. I really wanted this series to be somewhere between 30 and 50 episodes, and we're doing that. But it's just on the low end of that amount that I wanted to be at, right? Where I think this is episode 31 or 32, something like that. So very much just barely did we make where I wanted to be at for my range. Now, I could have, you could say this, and I could have dragged this on for another 10 episodes. Certainly could have. Absolutely. But I don't really think it was necessary, and I don't think I really needed to. That just seems counterproductive to an extent, because you know for a fact, if you're watching this, that I could have accomplished it much earlier than I did, and I was literally just dragging it on just to drag it on. And I've got other ideas, new ideas that are going to be coming out. I already mentioned there is a series that has already started. Probably 2 episodes by the time this one airs, I would think, have released. It's going to be a bit of a slower rollout until this series is done, and then it will take the place of this series, which I'm super ecstatic about. I'm very, very excited for it. I'm also going to be ending the Vintage Survival series here in the near future, probably within a week by the time this video releases. I would think, maybe sooner. I don't know for sure, but somewhere around then. But there's some good things on the horizon, man. I promise. There's the competitive one-tile challenge. It's coming. I'm amped up about that. It's going to be fun to do that with the guys. The new series I just talked about, Skyfin Aquafarm series. It's going to be a fun one. That's a continuation of the Barker Family Farm series, but this time there's no true meaning behind it. It's just something I'm going to make up as we move along. And then I've got quite a number of other ideas that my members know about. Maybe not the details of it, but at least know some of the ideas, the names of the idea of type of challenges or series that I'm working through and working on. And I've got a few other ones that have just kind of come to mind over the last couple of weeks as well. So lots of good things coming. Lots of good things. I think we will be doing the Replace the Vintage Survival series. I think we will be doing, I guess I shouldn't say with 100% certainty, but I think we will be doing another survival challenge type of series, or just survival series, one of the two. A similar type of series to what that Vintage Survival was. It just won't be probably from a vintage perspective. There may be vintage equipment utilized, but it won't be solely dedicated to vintage only. little bit left here, and then we will have all this sold as well, and we'll actually see truly what kind of money we got here. I don't think, besides some wood chips, I think there's some wood chips to sell, and then obviously the manure. I don't think there's a whole lot else for us to sell. I think we've accomplished everything else that we've set out to accomplish and sell today. Maybe the straw. I talked about the straw. I forgot about that straw. I'm going to try to get that straw out of the silo if it lets me. It may be in something else, and I'm not aware. I'll have to look. I will go look through all the productions as well, just to make sure that that is all kosher, if you will. Let's see. So there's some hay in here. I'm going to put that on selling. We'll just put all this on selling. We'll keep that on distributing for the time being. I think that's all that's in there is hay, though. There's some silage in there, actually, evidently. We'll do selling there. Water's in there. That's fine. I don't really care about the water. Okay, so those should sell here around 11 o'clock. I need to switch to the other tractor so I can get rid of the wood chips out of that small amount of wood chips in the Tree Devour mod. Other than that, I think that's all that's remaining. So right now we got $365,000, no loan, so this is pure income right now. Not much in the wood chips there, but, you know, it's something. It's a little bit. Now, I did talk about getting rid of these stumps, gang. I don't think we're going to be able to do it before the end of the series here. I'd like to. I just don't think it's going to work. We tried with the Tree Devour mod. I think it's going to be the same situation with the stump grinder. It's not... We didn't get those low enough, and it wasn't really allowing us to chop them down low enough. I don't know if maybe that's on purpose. It very well could be. But yeah. This is a very, very small amount, so I don't expect a ton of money here, but it will be something. Nice. Oh, $2,000 there. We'll take that. Take that. All right, so this stuff can now be dropped off. We don't need this anymore for the time being. Well, for the time being, for the series, really. Not the time being. So used to saying the time being. So we can drop this off. We need to go sell the digestate. And I think... Oh, we got the manure still. Sorry. Forgot about the manure. I got to do the manure. I bought that attachment. We haven't utilized it, so I need to utilize it. So we'll do that. We'll do that. Oh, boy. The worker, I tell you what. At least they drove part of the way for us. I'm just going to move over here for right now. We'll come back and pick that up here in a minute. Jump back in the Iseki here for a second. We can move the digestate out of the way and sell that. A little baby cow right there. Look at him. Look at him. There's a lot of digestate in there. Holy smokes. I did not realize there was that much digestate in there. Wow. That's a lot. It's going to take a couple trips to get rid of this then. I think this only holds like 20,000 liters. I think that's right. This is going to be a couple trips. I don't know what kind of money we're going to get out of this, as a matter of fact. I wouldn't suspect a whole lot. Alright, while that's doing that, let's go ahead and start this. See if we can get this picked up here. If it works. Hopefully it works. Oh, that's a very, very small amount it picks up at a time. I don't know how much manure is in there, but that is a very, very small amount. I'm not sure this is even going to be worth doing. Oh boy. How much manure is in here? 18,000 liters. That's a lot of manure, actually. I don't know if this is worth even getting rid of here, gang. I mean, we said we were going to keep it as a working farm. We got rid of mostly everything else. Sold most of everything else, I should say. I think I'm going to leave it. That's going to... If I'm only able to pick up 714 liters at a time, that's going to be... I mean, that's 30 minutes right there of me just doing that. And I don't suspect that we're going to make really any money at all out of this manure here, if I'm honest with you. It's going to be so minuscule that it probably won't even... It's not going to be worth the time we're going to spend in doing it. Let's see what we get for 714 liters. 80 bucks. That's not worth our time. I'm not going to worry about it, gang. If I was going to do that, if we were going to continue the series, I would get a bigger bucket. It's just not, that's not sufficient. That is, for the size of this series, that is just not going to work. I bought all those implements thinking they were going to be fantastic and it was going to save us and all kinds of money and be, you know, super successful, and it, unfortunately, a lot of them just really weren't useful for us. It's too bad, but, you know, that's okay. Alright, while that's continuing to fill up, as a matter of fact, it might be full. I should look at that. It is. Alright, let that do that thing, and then we will move the John Deere tractor hopefully into place here. This thing is awesome, man. I'm so upset we didn't get this was not out in Mod Hub for me when the Vintage Survival series started, because I would have loved to utilize this early on. I'm very happy with what we have in that series now, but this would have been fantastic to have early on, man. The early stages when I was struggling, I mean super struggling, to get enough money to get a harvester, just because it was such an early stage. I'm going to take a shortcut across our own field here, but just because it was literally, you know, such an early stage of I mean, it wasn't, but it feels like it wasn't, but it kind of still was, right? An early stage of the game itself when we started that series. I mean, that series is going for 60 plus episodes, man. I never expected it. I was expecting that one to be somewhere in the 30 to 40, maybe 45 range as well, right? So... But we just have been having such a blast with that, and it seems like every couple of weeks something new that we can utilize from a Vintage Survival perspective comes out, right? So it's hard to end a series when just every single week there's something new that's like, man, I would love to put that in there, or I'd love to use that, or whatever. Now, where are we going to put this thing? I think personally, I kind of want to put it here, but my concern then is it's near the kids' playground area, and I feel like that's probably not where you'd want to put it. There's a chance for them to get hurt, right? Not that they couldn't come over here and do the same thing and get hurt over here. They could, but I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. You get a good view of it. I'm happy with that. I think that looks good. Okay, so we can put this away, and then we just got to sell the rest of the digestate, and then do a couple minor additions to the park, and we're done, gang. All right, we're gonna back this thing up into here. Perfect little spot for it. The shed turned out to be a great addition, really. All right. Let's get the last bit of this digestate. It'll probably get us close to 400,000. I'm not sure we'll get past 400,000, though. It did hit 1104, so everything else that we said to sell should all be sold now. So we're about to see what we end up with here at this point. After we spend a few $1,000s more, as I mentioned, in the park. We got to put some more grass down in some of that area that doesn't have any grass, right? We just kind of painted grass. We've got to actually put some meadow grass down there. I'll probably put a lower stage of meadow grass in the kids' play area that you would think it would be a lower. They'd keep it, mowed, or they'd have some dirt definitely around most of those pieces of equipment. Because there's a lot of foot traffic there, so the grass wouldn't really grow. That's why a lot of times nowadays they utilize, like wood chips, basically. Some of them are like rubber wood chips, some of them are actual wood chips. Yep, we're going to be just short of 400,000. $387,719. We're going to spend about $3,000, probably around that, in the park. That should easily suffice for the amount of money we spent today. Maybe we should put our little shed that I was talking about right here. We moved some of those trees because we said we're going to put a shed there so we can put the bales and stuff in there to keep them dry. Maybe we should do that. Doing that also means we have to put more money into the park, though, so I don't think I will. All right, let's get to the park. So let's get the meadow grass down first here, and then we can see what else we can maybe come up with. Maybe we put some trees or something in. Just some light meadow grass, if you will. Gotta be careful here. I don't want to go too close. If I can help it. Come on, Cameron, work with me. You only got to work with me for like another couple of weeks, and then I'll get paid and be able to get another controller. Alright, should be the last bit right here, gang, and we are pretty much done. We just got to put a couple other minor things in here. I'm going to put something in here, some grass, I think. I'm going to do probably like medium-sized grass in here, I think. Come on, camera. Stop it. Stop moving on me. And I think I want to put... I kind of want to put a fence here, but I don't want it to be like too high up. I want like a really low fence. I don't know if we have anything like that. Almost like a fence that's not really a fence. If that makes any... I know that doesn't make any sense what I just said, but like a fence that's, you could easily get over top of it. Not like this, right? It was just like a low fence just to kind of like segregate part of this area off. But there's not really anything there. I guess I could do a hedge, but I don't really want to do that. That just seems not the right thing. Yeah, that's a little bit, no, that's a little bit too big. I love this, actually, as a matter of fact. This is from the new Highlands fishing expansion. I really, really like this, but that's just a little bit too big for us, so that's not really what we're looking for. Same thing here. This is pretty cool, too. Okay, well, I guess we won't do anything with that then. Alright, let's see. Let's put down a tree or two. Now, I don't want to... maybe I should find plants, maybe? We need to put something here. There's just not much to put, and I don't really love these little bush things. I don't love them at all, really. So maybe we find a small tree. Ooh, that's not a small tree. Nope. None of these are a small tree. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Like, just a tiny little tree right here in the corner. Boom. On each corner. Yeah, I'm good with that. Maybe a tree here. That's good. I'm good with that. Okay. Just to kind of clear this, finish this off here, let's put a bit of a fence right here on the edge, like you would normally expect to see for a business, if you will. And then maybe a couple benches, and that's pretty much going to be it. That more than makes up for the amount of money we need to spend right there. Let's put a couple benches over here. Like I mentioned we were going to do, I think, maybe in the last episode. I did not go where I wanted to. And yeah, I don't know where else. I think you want to put a couple benches maybe up here against the kind of the edge here. You know, kids are playing. There's an area for them to sit and watch, parents to sit and watch, right? I mean, obviously it might be taken up by some of the people eating ice cream too, but that's okay. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Well, you know, get them on the same path there, Z. Come on, buddy. Get together. Yeah. All right. Well, gang, that's it. We're going to leave the episode at that point, and we're going to leave the series at this point. I hope you enjoyed this series. It was a fun one to do. I really, really enjoyed being able to utilize some of the bigger equipment. I'm happy with everything we did here with the park. I think it was a great little idea. Kind of unique, right? With a 10% luxury tax to be able to put into a park, to create a park. And I think we did a pretty good job of creating a park, if I do say so myself. Thanks so much for watching, gang. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for me. Those things are free, and they help me a ton. There's a link down below if you want to become a member. Speaking of that, I cannot thank my members enough for all your continued support. A lot of you just recently hit a year, which is insane. So thank you so much for your continued support. It really means the world. And I'll see you in the next episode.